What's good, people? It's your man Ronan, just taking a break from work, and definitely on to my BS today. So, as usual, you know the deal. Use the code Ronan10 to be a part of the A-Game lifestyle. I know you're late into the midnight hour, but you can still celebrate Father's Day aftermath by using the code Ronan10. It helps with your vitality, energy, focus, and libido. I want to share a shout out to the A-Game family. Much love to them. Check out the Crimson Cure. He talks to the women as needed in a very feminine but direct fashion. You have my brother Sheep Stay Sleep, Young Manhood channel. You check them out. My brother Bishop. You know, me and him do Fifth and Benediction. You got my brother Ebo Sosa. And definitely all solid people that I salute to, and shout out to Father's Time and the A-Game Nation for helping keeping me on point. And today's video is addressing an unspoken issue until today. There was no definition for it, so I'm going to take the initiative to call it what it is. It's called plastic truck nuts disorder. Now, I know you're thinking, like, Ronan, what the hell are you talking about? Well, of course, I'll break it down. In this day and age, and it's been going on for a few decades, feminism has warped the minds of women to the point, well, majority, to the point where they have been reduced to flea market femininity. What I can say about it is when you have women that aren't able to communicate effectively with men, they don't know how to relate to men, they don't know how to treat them. They've been taught to believe that under the guise of equality, that they are the same thing as men, if not more, when all that is cap. I'm talking about an Elmer Fudd cap with the long ass bill. You have females who don't appreciate men, but at worst, they view actual femininity, learn how to be subtle, learn how to be in your natural element, as a weakness, which, when you allow femininity to become feral, no one profits from it. At least the ones that have morals, principles, and purpose. At least sound purpose. Just as you have maggots who hate actual values that promote them to be better men, femininity has women believing that they're men. When you are looking for the 4 P's, you're talking about provision, procreation, problem solving, and protection. You got chuckleheads who believe they're entitled to all that and don't honor the social contract. They figure they're supposed to be entitled to that because they have a vagina. I'm going to let you guys, ladies, in on a new secret. And I'm going to get to the fellas then, too. Your pussy don't mean shit. Now, let me go in a little further. Some of them feel awesome. Some of them feel like a winning lottery ticket on your birthday. Some of them feel like getting into the right temperature of a bath, but it's all over. You get that slow electric current up your spine to where, like, you feel renewed. Now, on the other side, whack box feels like you got fired on your day off. Like you had people throw you a birthday party with the very people or family members that you hate, and then you have the least favorite nephew or niece run up to you with them hard bottom shoes and kick you in the dick. Whack box feels like unfulfilled dreams and sadness. Yes, there is such thing as whack box. It might be wet, but that might be a yeast infection. But that's something you need to talk to your gynecologist about. But all in all, whether it's good or not, just as Jonathans love to lead with their wallet, there are a lot of females who lead with their vanity, their hubris, and their vagina. Now, just because a guy can penetrate you doesn't mean he fucks with you. Too many of y'all learning that the hard way. And rightfully so, there are men who value themselves to where if that's all you have to offer, okay, so be it. Now, some Jonathans have to pay up front or spend their time or buy a stove. Oh, also, stove coin is up 15 points, if you want to know. And but otherwise, it's a wasted investment. Because why get that from a thoughtler who demands that you protect her, and when she says protect her, she's talking about protect her from accountability, consequences, and promoting her to be a matured feminine woman. You can't build anything on that. A woman that suffers from plastic truck nuts disorder will say, I am the table. Well, here's a scenario you need to consider. Have you ever tried to conduct work or eat at a rickety table? It's damn near impossible. And, of course, it's a waste of time, and it's more than nothing but mess. But at least with a rickety table, you can easily correct that. Unfortunately, in this society, when you have individuals who say, I am the table, but then all of a sudden on the low, they got their hands out somewhere, or they're pro bono hoes who have these lofty standards where they're built like King Kong Bundy, or they get these gas station wigs, or the only thing they do is bring an attitude, problems, debt, and unfortunately change the smell in the room. These are individuals who want everything but refuse to sacrifice anything to become better women. You can't build anything with them other than a case to stay the hell away from them. Which in many ways, I get why certain men across the sector tend to create certain groups and protest. It's a logical response. Some go too far on the fringe, but that's another conversation for another day. When you have a woman that suffers from plastic truck nuts disorder, she has an issue to where she doesn't value herself nor the men that she demands these lofty goals and standards from, that she doesn't uphold for her own. These are the type of chicks that talk about a man's got to have 6 figures, 6-pack, more than 6 inches, and other things, when she washes her panties in the sink with a splash of kaboom before she goes to the club, before she gives it back to her girlfriend that she stole from. Or you'll get chicks that if you go in her house, her dwelling is in question. She sleeps on a pallet. There's hard dark spots on the floor. Some of them have stinky dildos that should be burnt behind city limits. You got chicks whose feet are blacker than asphalt, but then they figure you're supposed to be in a suit and all these things that they cannot stand up for themselves. Or they will make fun of women who actually naturally attract men who have more than their panties and their problems to offer. Women that suffer from plastic truck nuts disorder, all they offer is some weather-beaten box and disorder. They figure that you can't tell them nothing, and rightfully so. And when they show that, as men, we have to logically see, okay, you save me on my time, toil, trouble, and threat. So it's good that she's overtly stupid, because someone has to show her, or time, which is heavy-handed, has to show her that all this goofiness that she's subscribing to is costly. That's an individual who's trying to run from herself. Or they'll come with some nonsensical ultimatums, or they'll try to use their sex as a weapon. This is where men have to counteract that using dick discernment and dignity. Because you can get sex anywhere in the world, but you have to value your meat and your time. Because when you are fucking the shit out your purpose, that will come along the way. Because if a woman's about something, or if she's one of these chicks that's suffering from plastic truck nuts disorder, they want to be a part of a winner. You have the power to give her what she needs. You can promote her to be something greater than she imagines herself to be, if she is right. It's amazing how you think in the gym where you have to go work out and you will tear a muscle and repair it only to make it stronger. In a sense, you have to do the same thing with a woman in a respectable and constructive fashion. But chicks who suffer from plastic truck nuts disorder, they figure that you can't tell them nothing. These are chicks that have households where their cats don't like them. The dog down there bit them because he's sick of her shit. Her dildo leaves a note on the table, said it's not you, it's me, and it just left out the window. She becomes so femininely illiterate that she does not recognize herself. And part of that is when you have her elders or women who are supposed to teach her how to be women. And shout out to Pimp God for saying around 7 years old, either she's going to learn how to be a wife or she's going to be alone for damn near forever. There's a lack of sisterhood out there. That's one of the main culprits. Or you got individuals, especially in the community, I can't say community, these ethnic outposts that teach you how to not value men nor yourselves. Feminism didn't empower you, it disabled you. So, fellas, I say in closing, when you see a woman, and there are many symptoms that I can go into later, that suffers from plastic truck nut disorder, it is in your best interest to value yourself and your time. Everything ain't worth smashing. The juice isn't worth the squeeze, because sometimes you got to explain that story to the doctor when you see that blister that's leaking. And also, women who suffer from plastic truck nuts disorder, all they worry about is provision and procreation. In those two means, they're trying to get money out you the wrong way. You got to value your time and your resources, which your time is your biggest resource. Just because she looks good doesn't mean she is good. And how is that? And you can't explain away why you sit there and spend your time, you know, putting your tongue on a chick's butthole and it tastes like the top of a car battery. Or she goes into a public place and she's not housebroken. Or you have to explain to your boys how she used to look back in 2015. And now she's got Dunlap disease and she's skinny as hell. Or she's built like an overweight bowling pin. Now granted, some guys on the fringe like women of a certain size. That's your business. But the thing is, if her mindset and her attitude is fucked up, I don't care how she looks. Short but sexy ain't the business. So I'm just saying a word of warning, fellas. Plastic truck nuts disorder is a self-destructive disease. However, it is communicable when you lack values. If you don't have systems, order, and structure. If you are clueless or refuse to apply the 10 life values into your life, you will be yet another casualty that will not be taken seriously. We know who hurt us. That's why we're in this space. Shout out to DS1. But we have to be accountable of the hurt that has been laid upon us. Heal up and move forward. Not wallow in the pain as these chicks with plastic truck nuts disorder choose to do. These would be the old biddies that got tattoos on their titties. It used to be a butterfly. Now it's an old dragon with suffering from a stroke. So that's a hint of plastic truck nuts disorder. I'll go into further into more of the symptoms, and you guys, if you happen to understand or assume you ran into a woman that suffers from this disorder, feel free to use the comment section to put forth the diseases or the symptoms that you've seen, and we can assess that as a collective. Build a nice file that we can work on and pass on to the brothers. So, salute to you guys. Salute to Engage Nation. And as always, never allow your comfort zone become your coffin. Peace.